If you drive in BC, you need to hear what I have to say. My name is Daryl DeMarco. A few of you may know me. I managed collision repair shops for many years, worked for ICBC in the late 80s into the 90s, and I've been a realtor now for over 20 years. The main goal of this website is to bring about change in ICBC's policies and to teach you how to protect yourself in the meantime. I will discuss anything remotely connected to ICBC. This subject desperately needed exposure. My secondary reason, of course, is exposure for myself. I'm a realtor, and sales is all about meeting people. In the old days, I met most clients over the phone when they called on my newspaper ads. Things have changed. The reality is, to keep this website going indefinitely, there must be some benefit to me as well. But we'll wait and see. As you listen to my videos, keep in mind that I do not exaggerate and that documents and witnesses exist to substantiate everything I say. I will be adding a forum to the website in the next few weeks, and you can write in and post your issues, and others can write in and try to help you with it. If I can help, I surely will. Send your emails to darylde@shaw.ca. The following are brief descriptions of topics that I'll be doing on video. Number one reason for this website: I believe ICBC commits fraud every time they victimize someone who is already a victim by refusing to compensate innocent parties for accelerated depreciation. Since the law apparently does not apply to ICBC, I'll tell you about it so you can protect yourself. This is important to anyone who owns a decent car. See the next video I'm putting out, accelerated depreciation it's called. Don't miss that one, it's definitely the most important. Number two reason, inferior parts. I come from a collision background, so that's a natural. Put simply, when a car loses any of the major parts it was born with, its value is affected, so the best parts available must be used. ICBC uses the cheapest parts they can get away with, and they are very good at defending that policy. Abuse of power. This website is more about ICBC as a whole than individuals. Send me your stories anyway. Everything must be verifiable, of course. If ICBC chooses to ignore me, I may mention employees' names in connection with a complaint, and along with a claim number, of course. Normally I would not do this, but as I told you, I believe many are guilty of fraud, and being ordered to do it by your employer is not a defense. Early sign-off. This practice takes away the time for recourse which the law gives you. If your damaged vehicle is now repaired, or you were injured and are now recovered from an accident that was not your fault, your adjuster will call you and very nicely ask if everything is okay. And if so, will you come in and sign off on the claim? What should you do? See my videos. It's a big topic. There's a lot to learn. Number 5, the Fairness Commissioner. His mere existence is an indication of how big ICBC's problems are. Either a company treats people fairly, or it is their policy not to. Number 6, auto plan agents. ICBC oversees them. At the Sharp Agency in Pitt Meadows, I just experienced the worst customer service I've seen in quite a while. I found out later it could have been resolved with a phone call to ICBC, but the agent refused to do anything. I filed a complaint with customer relations, and as far as I know, they've done nothing. Number 7, traffic controls. ICBC and the RCMP are advising municipalities on their roadways, traffic controls, etc. Based on their advice, the municipality of Pitt Meadows installed a roundabout in front of my house on a quiet residential street, which is now a racetrack. I have seen 9 vehicles totaled in front of my house in 3 years. 2 of the collisions could easily have been fatal. Now, I should explain, I've seen 9 vehicles totaled. That doesn't mean there wasn't more. I'm not always home. And sometimes they clean them up pretty quick. And as far as whether they were totaled or not, when I worked for the North Van Claim Center, there were days that I wrote TL for total loss on the windshield of 5 cars. That's just one day. So I've been responsible for the decision to total loss probably a few hundred vehicles in my life. I know what I'm talking about. When I say in front of my house, I mean within 50 feet of my property or on it. In this video, I will tell you how any halfwit could have seen this coming. So-called traffic calming, another traffic control. These are the sidewalks that stick out into the road. In the 40 minutes it takes me to mow and trim my front lawn, an average of 2 vehicles will hit these sidewalks. This throws off the wheel alignment. The result is now a vehicle that is less safe, causes more pollution by using more fuel, and needless expense to the owners. As a proponent of these ridiculous things, ICBC is partially responsible for this senseless waste of money. Other topics, where does our insurance money go? Other than injury claims, there are 2 main groups that have never been dealt with effectively, where a lot of our money goes. I want to know why. Repair shops writing their own ticket. The bigger shops can't be bothered to cheat ICBC. The smaller ones, if ICBC doesn't see that damage first, the cost of repair will go up. I guarantee it. I've worked for those kind of places. Repairs to collector cars. This doesn't affect many people, but it's important to me, so I'm doing a video on it. And you can learn from the way I handle the event that I described. Customer Relations Department. I'll get into that in a minute. In the interest of full disclosure, I had a good reason to take on ICBC a long time ago. I'll do a full version of this story, but here's the highlights. In the late 80s, ICBC formed the Employee Suggestion Department. For ideas that saved the corporation money, they offered employees 5% of the savings for 5 years. Whether this type of employer-to-employee offer is honored depends on just one thing: integrity. Much like a handshake. I didn't know it at the time, but it was like shaking hands with a crackhead. Keep in mind that I don't exaggerate. My contribution saved the corporation millions under this program, and they refused to pay me a cent. ICBC implemented my idea just a few days after I submitted it, but 6 months later, they finally told me I get nothing. What quality of person or persons would completely deny a promised reward for such a significant and undeniable contribution? If they treated me like this, how are they going to treat you? At ICBC, nothing gets to a manager unless a lower employee feels it's necessary. Keeping that in mind, I recently gave ICBC another chance to put things right with me. Kind of late, but hey, I was making this website, I had to. A guy named Don Kajiwara basically just blew me off as I expected. He exercised his authority as a flunky, so I'm sure management knows nothing of my request. He is typical of how management insulates itself from people. Managers have to be out in front, not hiding behind the peons. Any employees, past or present, are certainly welcome to contact me. I will never disclose any contributor to this website without their permission. ICBC got lucky when they cheated me, but their luck just ran out. Eventually, I'll get the attention of the media, and then the government and RCMP will have to take action against ICBC and its employees. Watch all the videos, tell everyone you know, and let's force them to change.